Hey everybody, it's your girl Pajama with Pajama Life. And today, we got some very interesting and exciting movies for Happy Black History Month, the shortest month of the year. But with it comes a lot of joy and a lot of reflection. So we're going to do it with my two brothers here. Hey, we got Patrick. Say hey to the people with he's the guru of all things Marvel, Tolkien, Dungeons and Dragons, and a host of other things.
And say beer.
Hey people.
And beer.
I could definitely.
And beer. He's the beer master.
I could definitely hold forth a large conversation about the proliferation of craft breweries. So yes, but hey everybody, glad to see you here tonight.
And our resident Star Wars professor, and what do you call making models and making there we go
figures
to discuss with us this week's Bad Batch and all things Star Wars. Let's say hey to our good buddy David.
Well, hello everybody, great to be with you on a chilly night tonight. Hey, listen, I had a little crazy accident I just want to share with y'all really quick. I had a large balloon and I let go of it and I haven't found it yet. It's huge. It's white. It says made in China, but listen, if you find, that balloon means a lot to me. So let me know if you have it back.
And moving on, we got a lot to talk about, man. Talk about that at the end. And let's talk about our first movie from Kenya Barris, the kind of remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? You people. Okay. Let's see. Let's have David. We're not going to have trailers today. We had some technical stuff going on, but let's have David talk about how he liked You People.
I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was a wonderful cast. Man, Eddie Murphy, who's done so many, he's gone to the animated, the voice work and things, really continued to show his comedic chops. He's a genius. One of the best performances, I think, of Jonah Hill I've seen. Great ensemble cast. Lauren London as the lead here, the lead heroine, just lovely. I thought it was a really fun and funny movie. Well done.
Yeah. Okay, Patrick, tell us what you think.
I liked it too. I mean, except for the ridiculous, hokey ending, it was very rom-com-esque. It was it was too convenient. I didn't like it. I meine they were spent the whole movie dealing with interesting, real issues, and then they come out with this hokey-ass ending. I was just like, dude, I had problems with that. But other than that, I mean, everybody was really good. And since I saw the movie, I looked at a few things online. I try to avoid doing that before I watch a movie, and several commentators were talking about how there was no chemistry between Jonah Hill and Lauren London, I think her name was.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought there was good chemistry between the two of them. I thought that was really well done, personally.
Yeah.
But, I don't know what they're complaining about. I enjoyed the movie, and it was good to see Eddie Murphy coming back and being America's dad, now. So pretty funny, actually. That's still just
America's militant dad too. That was really great.
And America's straight man dad. This is the first kind of thing seeing Eddie Murphy as the straight man. That's kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We were there when he came out and made an explosion in the comedy world as not the straight guy. So this is really a mature Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think he looks good. His acting is good. His comedic chops are still there. It's great to see him and Julia Louis-Dreyfus have a reunion. I mean, how great is that? I was like, oh, wait a minute. It took me a second to remember they were in Saturday Night Live together. And back in the day. And okay, so this is speaking as someone who's been in an interracial relationship and marriage for 35 years. Coming up on a 30-year anniversary and time in. This is really authentic to our experiences as interracial couples. You can get, when I was coming, I would have loved for someone to be this happy for us. But I think that the struggles and the trying to help each other understand the perspectives of the other groups is authentic. I think that one thing about Kenya Barris, I have to say, is his. I know he doesn't like to hear it, but his colorism in his movies, I feel like, because he's talks about all this, but he casts only certain types of women in it, and it's kind of like, okay, so that has been brought up a lot, and he has started to address it without being dismissive. But I think some of the discussions, I think that discussion with Jonah Hill and Sam Jay, his podcast partner, was authentic kind of discussion, but I didn't know if that was like the right place in this kind of movie. I was kind of like, it kind of was kind of, I don't know, it seemed kind of shoved in because it is a romantic comedy. And so, Pat, unlike you, I was like, oh, are they just going to end it like this? And then what's the point of it? I think that would have not played well. And I think that would have, I don't think people would have been happy with that because everybody knows going in what it is. It's a romantic comedy. It's a culture clash kind of story.
Right.
And, but one of the funniest characters was David Duchovny. Keep talking about exhibit. And if I could give a piece of advice to white America, don't always feel like you have to connect to a Black person through some kind of traumatic event. If you meet us, it's okay to just have a conversation about the weather, or hey, how you doing? Or not bring up, oh, I think that thing, in a totally different conversation. So that's not always cool unless it's an organic conversation. Stop doing that. Just cut it out. It's okay. Just be normal. You'll be all right. Okay. So I think all of us agree that You People is a really fun, light, it's not meant to solve all the problems of the world, but there's a really interesting article out about Kenya Barris talking about it. We'll put it up on the YouTube page, but definitely check out You People. And up next, it's finally Wakanda. It's finally on my TV screen. And I'm sad I didn't make it to the theaters once I saw it. But Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Patrick. No, I'm not going to go to Patrick. I'll just go with David. What did you think of Wakanda Forever?
I think you see it on really two different sides of the coin. One, as a movie on its own. And as a movie on its own, I thought it was fun. The wonderful acting, great stuff there. On the other side of it, this film, and we've talked about it a lot on this program, and we saw it with the animated series, the What If animated series for Marvel. The loss of Chadwick Boseman is really felt, and it's felt throughout this. I thought they did a beautiful job of bringing that into the movie.
Yeah.
There was no try to do something, he's dead. He died off screen, and they're dealing with it. The audience, no doubt, people who love this movie dealing with it. And I thought from that perspective, it was really beautifully done. I didn't get the whole the battle between the Mer people. I'm calling them that. I don't know what their real name was.
Atlanteans.
And Wakanda. You know, it was like, man, this is there was a lot of meta message there about the dangers of colonialism and its impact on groups of people. And it was like, what? That was a little flat to me in some respects. But what wonderful acting by the whole cast, and to like, if there's any way you can take a blow, the loss of the leading man, and by all accounts a wonderful gentleman, and say, okay, now we're going to move forward. It was done. This was a beautiful film. The cast, the heroines. This was a female led film, and it was just beautifully done.
Mm-hmm.
Touching. Gonna get choked up a little bit, but it was a good addition back. I think we've had some kind of weak Marvel movies lately.
Yeah.
Even a weak Marvel show. Sorry, She-Hulk. And this kind of righted the ship. It righted the ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Patrick, what'd you think?
I will agree with David on the way that they did a wonderful job of not acknowledging that Chadwick Boseman is gone and doing it in such a way that it felt that it was organic to the story. It didn't feel like they were trying to push something in. You know, it was around them the whole time. They didn't wallow in it, per se. But man, I got to tell you, who stole every damn scene? Namor, man, that guy was dripping magnetism. Yes, he's the deal. I'll tell you what, I'm just watching him going, he's going. I mean, I know that Namor is a large part of the MCU, the actual Marvel comics. He's a big chunk, and he's like one of the oldest characters actually in Marvel, because he was like started in World War II.
Oh, wow.
The King of Atlantis, which Aquaman was to a certain extent based off of him. There's back and forth on who started this archetypical character, and this was the archetypical undersea lord, running stuff. It was an interesting origin story for him.
Yeah,
he's one of the first acknowledged mutants.
Yes.
Other than you saw.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Other than you saw, and the Doctor Strange, you got to see Professor X. There was some mutant stuff going on there, but that was kind of like an alternate universe. They were kind of still walking that line on gently easing him in, and now we have a straight up mutant in the MCU, and the young character, the Ironheart. I'm going to tell you, her suit looked like a Gundam. For those of you that are anime people, he was
right.
it was a Gundam mech suit, man. It was straight out of the 80s, anime, Speed Racer, that whole genre. It was straight up a Gundam suit, and it was nice. I got it, man. I was digging it, but it was really interesting. Overall, I love the movie. I thought it was really good. I wasn't too comfortable, maybe perhaps with the T'Challa had a child.
No, don't say it. Okay.
If you ain't watched it by now, I don't know what to tell you. It's been out for a damn near a year.
Well,
come on. Oh, I'm sorry. Spoiler.
Thank you. Hello.
Everybody, turn off your TV now if you don't want to hear the mean old bald man talk about stuff that was in the movie that's here. But that felt weird.
I thought it was okay. I thought that was okay.
It didn't seem.
Kind of with you. I was kind of like, because something about it didn't sit right in the sense
it didn't seem in line with T'Challa's sense of honor, and
now he would have brought him to Wakanda, so that's kind of
that's what made me feel like this is just
I was like
just like we're making another, we're just trying to continue the series on with this. That felt like just kind of an open door that they're just trying to leave an escape hatch to make another movie if they want to, which they will, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I think so.
And didn't you say in one of the comics that M'Baku was Black Panther as well?
He did. He held the title for a while.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
sure is.
the heart-shaped herb can transform many different people.
Yeah.
I think. And are you done?
Oh, I'm done. Yes.
Okay, so this one I loved, but it was permeated with sadness too.
Yeah.
Grief, right? And understandably. And so it's kind of one of those that's hard to watch. The opening scene when Queen Ramonda walks into the UN and lets them have it about vibranium, and the Dora Milaje had captured the French, which is very kind of a
colonizer.
Kind of message that looked over there, with we see you. And so I thought that was really like, okay. And you could tell, I thought it was very interesting that Namor, it's an indigenous story too. And so I really thought that was a really interesting take on it, but I kind of thought they spent way too much time on it in the movie. I mean, this movie is what, 2 hours and almost 3 hours long.
Building him into a character that will be on many, 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 many more. He's a major Marvel character.
That's why I was like, I was wishing it wasn't as much, and then he has his own movie, and that they, have that, because I really understood his perspective and why he felt the way he felt. But then I was like, it's like, yeah, come on, join up with me or else. And I was like, how many times Black women got to be threatened by these? Like, man, whatever. And I thought it was so Shuri's character kind of taking the direction she took and who she saw in the
Twilight, as it were, yes.
Yeah, like the ancestors playing.
Yeah.
I kind of, since I couldn't stand that character anyway, I didn't like it. So
I thought it was a good choice.
You thought it was a good choice?
I did, because it fit her particular mood, and there was an alignment of their particular emotional states. She was very angry, and so was Killmonger. So I mean,
I wasn't going to say it, but okay.
Yeah, I thought it was very reminiscent of. I'll go back to my genre with like Empire Strikes Back, with Luke in the cave and seeing what he could be and all. I thought that was a truly real moment, because
I understood her rage, because that's what it was rage.
And that's why he was the person that she saw. He was a relative. He was a king for a few minutes there.
Yeah.
And so he was absolutely the person she should have seen.
And if you think about Namor, his rationale was exactly the same as Killmonger's. And so it was kind of like, that's just not my jam.
They were both charismatic.
I didn't like that character, so I didn't want to see, because I didn't like his motivations. But with Namor, I was like, wow, this guy is the real deal. I think, and they said introducing his name. Let me see, Tenoch Huerta. So I don't think he's had very much movies in American audiences. He might be big overseas, but the Tolokans are the name of the people.
Yeah, in the movie they were, but
in the movie they changed it. But I thought that was an interesting choice to make it an indigenous story with Mesoamericans and Africans. So I thought that was really interesting, and something. I thought they spent too much time on it, but I liked it. But overall, I liked it, but because of the amount of grief permeating it, and I think the montage they did at the beginning, when they have the Marvel, it was, and they showed him, and then at the end when they showed all the different, it was just, I was like, okay, they had to do that to me. I just
There's a lot.
my
There's a
eyes
lot of
started
things.
itching because of my allergies a little bit, and but it was beautiful. But it's so sad. So it's not one I can like watch like over and
Yeah.
over and over and over and over. But maybe, maybe in the future I'll be able to. That's what took me so long to watch it, because I didn't want to. I'm like her. I didn't want to see the finality of that.
Well, it was also nice to see Okoye's character grow. I mean, there was a lot of
Yeah.
man, I'll tell you what, she's another star right there. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She stole
Oh,
most
yeah.
scenes she was in too. I'm between her and Namor. I'm just telling you, those are two big time.
And
She
Michaela
was him in a lot.
Cole. Michaela Cole in it. I mean, she's just Cole. I love Michaela Cole. I May Destroy You, one of the most powerful, dark, disturbing, like uplifting kind of things you'll see. Go check that out with her in it. Her stuff is amazing. So I think that it's just Angela Bassett, of course, is my. If I can come back as anybody, I want to come back as Angela Bassett. She's so amazing. She is just well earned with her nomination. I've watched most of the Best Supporting Actress, and I'll talk about it, but you know what it is. So definitely, I think all of us really enjoyed and loved Wakanda Forever. It's something the whole family can watch. It is sad, so definitely be prepared for that. But it also has an uplifting moment in it, and lots of strong Black women characters. Perfect for Black History Month. All right, so next up is the Best Cinematography. We're going to do this each week. We're going to talk about the kind of major categories of the Oscar nominations and see what we think of the nominees and some of the movies. And then maybe next week we get our technical stuff taken care of. We can show little snips of it or something. But this week we're going to do each week, check out what we're going to do. This week we're going to look at the Oscar nominations for cinematography. And the list, do we have the list in the banner? Okay, let me find out the list, but it's an interesting list this year. I think that the cinematography is a very interesting category to me. And let me find it real quick.
The nominees are. I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yes, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths.
Which is on Netflix.
Empire of Light, and Tar. That's the cinematography.
And Elvis.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, okay. So I've seen all of them except Empire of Light. And I have to say, I'm not real jazzed about this category this year. I kind of felt like nothing blew me away. I mean, like in past years, it's been like some of them you've just been like jaw drop, like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so lush. It's so unique. It's been something that I could hang my hat on, but frankly, this year, I'm just not that impressed with most of them. So this is kind of a category I'm like, meh. And I've never been like that for cinematography. What do you guys think?
Well, go ahead, Pat.
No, you got this. You go first.
I would say Elvis, though, as a film, I thought their slant with a biopic was a little different, but I thought the cinematography was really good.
It was interesting. That's probably one that was what he did on that was interesting.
There was a real art to it. I mean,
Yeah.
when Elvis encountered some of the songs for the first time, I thought his kind of the back and forth and some of that I thought was good. For my money, and I do think this is a special film. All's Quiet on the Western Front. That left me jaw dropping. The way that battle scenes were portrayed. Obviously, Saving Private Ryan is probably the standard, the gold standard for battle scenes. But the things that were there, the trench warfare, which we didn't, no one thought it was going to get worse than that. And in 20th century and into the 21st, it is. But I just thought it was incredible to bring the war to life in the way that they did. It was really something.
I think one of the scenes that I thought was pretty interesting was the snowfall. I think when they were going to get they were going to steal from the farmer.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Oh, I'm just kidding.
I thought that was really pretty. But I guess 1915 a couple of years ago? Was that the name of it? 1915?
I think 1915 or 1914.
I think it was 14.
1914.
That was the first year of the war.
That movie, the war movie. Now that had some great cinematography. So I was kind of like hoping. I think the juxtaposition of what was going on in the battlefield and then what was going on with the generals and the lushness of what that scene, those scenes versus the gritty dirtiness of the battle scenes. I thought that was interesting, but I just the category itself and Tar was very flat to me. If you guys are going to get a chance to watch it, it's on Peacock now. It just didn't, especially being a movie about art. I would have an artist, even though this is like music, the symphony, I would have expected just more. I don't know, Pat, what do you think?
I haven't seen several of these movies, so it's hard for me to comment on the merits of other things. I've only got one thing to compare to. I've only seen Elvis out of the list of cinematography.
Yeah.
And on the All Quiet on the Western Front is on my list of movies to watch this week. I think the movie we were all thinking about was Dunkirk too.
Dunkirk was beautiful.
Dunkirk was amazing as far as a World War I.
I don't even like war movies like that, but the cinematography in that one was incredible.
And like David had mentioned about how Saving Private Ryan is kind of the gold standard for it, showing the chaos of battle in those larger battles that we don't see anymore. Really, battles are not done by two massive armies, doing stuff. It's basically small units doing things. So it's kind of something that you'll never see again, I suspect. Just the same way after the Revolutionary War, we didn't see them lining up across the field at each other and walking into gunfire. We get smarter about how to kill each other.
Unfortunately.
Which is sad, but here we are. Cinematography is always one of those categories that, like Pam has mentioned, that when you see something, it's gorgeous or well done. Even things that are kind of sometimes brutal or whatever, like the war movies are. A well shot cinema. Well, a wonderful cinematography can make a brutal war movie beautiful.
Right.
It's very terrible stuff. Steven Spielberg, with Saving Private Ryan, great. So it's hard for me to say. Elvis was good. It was beautiful. It was well shot. I mean, Baz Luhrmann, is one of my favorite directors too. As far as he does some really good stuff with color and just fantastical stuff. And Elvis's life was kind of fantastical, so it kind of fits right in with that. Him wanting to do that. To be honest,
that's neat. I like the way you put that. I think that's a new spin on it for me.
I mean, Well, it's right. At Baz Luhrmann's. I mean, look at the movies he's done. Australia, big fantastical thing. Moulin Rouge, extremely
Yeah.
fantastical. I mean, gorgeous movies, all of them.
And
Everything.
don't forget Romeo and Juliet.
Or Ballroom. I mean, everything he does
Oh,
is he's done really good stuff. And Elvis is right in there. The weakest thing in the whole damn movie was Tom Hanks. Let's be honest about it. But I know I'm maybe jumping ahead here, but
yes.
so I mean, cinematography though, his stuff is always beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised anything he ever made didn't make cinematography because he has such a unique vision, and to be real honest, the way he uses color and the palettes that he selects are
His
really
palette is-
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is Steven Spielberg's cinematographer didn't get nominated. And he usually does, because he usually does such beautiful work. And
Which movie would that be?
The Fablemans. I think
Yeah.
it's the same guy, right? Janus.
I'm sure he did. I know he had John Williams for the soundtrack again, so
Yeah.
that relationship continues.
Yeah. So it's that one, I think people were like, what? How? What? I think people were blown away.
The cinematography was good, but it was rather pedestrian.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't nothing that really blow your skirt up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you one that I was highly disappointed it even got nominated was that Bardo. That movie, it was not something. The cinematography, I'm just gonna focus on cinematography, was okay. It just wasn't special. I feel like if this is the category, I want to see something special that's gonna blow my skirt up. It's gonna make me blow my head up or something. My eyeballs pop out, something that's so haunting that it sticks with me. And this year,
well, I thought the Banshees of Inisherin had some really wonderful cinematography in it. I mean, stuff that really lent itself to the emotional mood of the movie that they were shooting.
Yeah.
Very bleak, very windswept, very alone, lonely feel, but still gorgeous, which is exactly what that movie kind of embodied. So I thought that was a really
that was surprised. Or you remember last year, the tragedy of Macbeth.
That was interesting.
That was beautiful. I mean, beautiful. And it wasn't a whole bunch of sets. It was cinematography. And that made that so amazing and wonderful and interesting and different.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like cinematography.
It was like it was on a stage.
It was very minimalist, and the black and white really lent itself to that, which to me is sometimes it works, sometimes it feels like it's pretentious a little bit. I don't know how I feel about that still, but I mean, black and white is just one of those.
I love it.
Traditional. It's one of those things where I'm trying too hard choices sometimes. Sometimes it works really good because it's right. And I think Macbeth was probably closer to right than wrong. But sometimes it feels like, okay, we're going to do Shakespeare. We got to do something really weird. Let's do it in black and white. Let's do real minimalist. This will be. I mean, because everybody, to be honest, anybody who's been through high school has probably been exposed to Shakespeare. And if you've been exposed to Shakespeare, you're exposed to one of three things. You've been exposed to Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, or anyone? King Lear.
I mean, the list is different for everyone.
I mean, King Lear. I mean, there's the third one. Everybody gets Macbeth. Everybody gets Romeo and Juliet. Hamlet's probably the third one, really, to be honest.
Taming of the Shrew. I mean, that one is
low.
They did a great one in Moonlighting back 40 years
You might see A Midsummer Night's Dream. You want to throw a comedy in there? Let's throw that in there. But I mean, everybody's exposed to Shakespeare. Everybody's familiar with it. Everybody knows what's supposed to be there. Everybody's supposed to be in puffy pants and puffy shirts and stupid shit like that. But it's an artistic. It's kind of pretentious. It's kind of like
saying. But I felt like with that. I mean, but this is how bad this category this year is. We're talking about movies from last year because these are just not great. And when you see them, I think there were some choices that could have made that didn't. And I think it's the category is worse for it. I just think this year is boring for cinematography. And
is.
I've never said boring when I talk about cinematography. So, boo. So many other movies could have been in there. And so it's weird. It's just a weird category. So, not my favorite this year, but some interesting movies in there. And I think we'll have a lot of good discussion over these weeks leading up to the final one, which will be Best Picture. And next week, we're going to talk about my favorite category. So I can't wait, is writing. So we're going to talk about Best Adapted and Best Original Screenplay, along with Bad Batch, as well as we're going to take a look at the show, The 1619 Project on Hulu. So that will be very interesting. And that brings us to the end. Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about? Let's start with, well, David already brought up part of what he was talking about earlier. Anything you want to talk about, David?
No, but if you do know where my balloon is, just can you write us at Pajama Life so I can pick
Not
it up?
me! Don't write Pajama Life! I want none of that!
So long, everybody.
Pat, how about you?
I mean, how do I follow that? I don't have anything. I just hate, like I'll say this, and I say this a lot. Go see movies in the theaters. That's how we keep these things coming.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
get your butt out and get your butt in a theater seat once in a while.
And definitely this week, I can't believe I didn't. Oh, we haven't talked about Bad Batch. Oh my gosh, we didn't talk about Bad Batch. We got
I thought we were just segueing away.
Oh my gosh,
Private Ryan and everything else.
Oh geez, you guys got to remind me. So I'm gonna start. I want to start. Bad Batch this week. Wookiee Jedi is my favorite 2 words put together. I love this episode. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but once I saw it, I was like, yes, Wookiee Jedi. It was amazing. I loved every bit of this episode. This is the first time I have felt this way this season, and I'm glad. And guess it's the 6th episode. Usually they start to really crank up about episode 6. So I really loved it. The whole Jedi Wookiee. I love it. David, what about you? Oh no! Don't do it to me, David. Don't do it to me, please.
It was fine. I mean, it was great cotton candy. But here's a couple of things, folks. And it was good to see Gunji. We saw Gunji from the Clone Wars, so he was brought up. We've seen him as a Wookiee youngling before. It's not Order 66 anymore. Let's be real. It's like Order 33.
Thank you.
Job that the clones. No one can mock the stormtroopers' aim anymore. How many Jedi are left? They're everywhere. They are not like bald eagles or like the Loch Ness monster alone. They're everywhere. It is so disappointing. Go to Kashyyyk. Go with the Wookiees. The Wookiees are great. That's wonderful. There shouldn't be this many Jedis. It absolutely destroys the whole purpose of the movie.
No,
it takes away from them all.
I was going to say that too, David. I'm glad you got to that. Thank you.
I mean, it's a Order 33. What a half-assed, excuse me, half-assed job.
Weak ass. Nobody killing. I mean, that's the thing too. Dave's absolutely right.
No.
And now you can't even die from a lightsaber to the heart. Thank you, Kenobi. Give me a break. Give me a freaking break. This was terrible.
Oh my God!
Charles Barkley. Horrible.
This baby Wookiee, who is a Jedi, that is amazing. And he's amazing. And everything they did on that planet was amazing. It was incredible.
It was fun, but he
See,
should have
this
been
is
a
the
Jedi.
problem. Y'all got too much knowledge.
Oh my God, I can't. Wait a second, hang on.
Too much knowledge, and we won't say what
That
we
is
want.
the problem.
Pam wants us to be dumber, Dave, is what she's saying.
God.
I'm saying give things, let it be what it is,
And
and
it's
not
bad.
try to bring
It's
in
bad.
everything
Let it be what
from
it
the
is.
encyclopedia
It
knowledge
It
of
takes
it.
away from Star
It
Wars.
doesn't take
It
encyclopedia
doesn't
knowledge.
take away from
Dave's,
Star Wars.
okay, Pam.
I love
Dave
you, but I
Dave is the one
disagree.
who's the
I
guru of Star
disagree.
Wars.
This is terrible.
This is not terrible. This is awesome. Pat, go ahead, Pat.
Dave is the one with the encyclopedic knowledge. I'm not encyclopedic about Star Wars. I like Star Wars. I've seen a lot of Star Wars, but even I'm starting to notice that shit, they missed all kinds of dudes. I'm like, okay, you've got Kanan, you got Ahsoka, you got Luke chilling out on Tatooine, you got
but this is out of what, thousands
Wookiee
of
X. I can't remember his damn name.
Gunji.
There's so many. I can't remember their names. There's so many of them now, just floating around. How many were there to begin with, and what percentage did they get? That's my question now.
Yeah.
Did they get 80%? Did they get 20? Did they get 50? I don't know.
They even want to bring back Mace Windu, and I saw the man fall out a window with one arm.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
Really wouldn't.
Wait a minute. Why wouldn't he? If he's a Jedi,
yes.
Why wouldn't he be able to maybe like catch his fall? Or
they don't do that.
You didn't actually see him die. You didn't see him die, did you?
And because we have it now, everybody who we didn't see definitely die is coming back.
Great.
My goodness.
Mace Windu, Wookiee Jedi, Mace Windu. Now I'm totally invested
so you're saying that,
in this.
So I guess Pam is lobbying for the secret underground society of Jedi warriors that no one knows, that they all just quit carrying their lightsabers quite out on their belt so much, but
that
they still
makes all
Jedi.
the sense in the world for it to be an underground of Jedi.
They must have just all gone to Margaritaville. They said, "Nah, Palpy's got it. We're going to the Margaritaville."
Y'all are crazy.
We can go chill out on one of these planes. Go to Camino. They'll hide us if we pay them a little bit of money. Heck yeah.
Order 33.
Order 33. You know, Dave, that is exactly the right answer.
Wouldn't the younglings who were
killed by
discovered yet, who were force, sensitive, have grown up and are now
and now have lightsabers and trained?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. 110.
You also like The Rise of Skywalker, which was the worst movie ever made.
I know.
Anywho, let's continue.
Absolute stinking, warm, corny shite.
So that brings us.
And they did this episode. This was the pilot episode of Rebels rescuing Wookiees.
I like that.
Derivative. Totally derivative.
Why not? Oh, you two. Just let go of the past and move to the future. The future is we're going to see Wookiee Jedis and Mace Windu as the teacher. Oh my God. Mace Windu heading up a Jedi Academy of Wookiee Jedis.
You should go pitch that to Disney. They'd probably buy that shit.
Oh, I know they would.
Pitch that totally.
Here, I'm going to go.
No! Wait a minute, don't make me find mine. But definitely, I don't care what these two jokers have to say. It was an amazing episode. It's definitely something the whole family can watch.
The 2 out of 3 of us say it's
enjoy. And don't listen to these two codgers.
It was okay. I mean, it was fun, but it was just
it was fun.
It was fun. Just let it be what it is, man.
Dave and I are not denying that it was fun, and it was nice. It is the same thing. It's the same. Okay, it's the same thing as reading the National Enquirer or reading great literature.
No,
okay, they're both entertaining. Yeah, sure. One's great.
And some people like it.
Away.
I mean, it ain't all gotta be King Lear. It can be.
No, I don't want King Lear.
It can be People Magazine sometimes.
Okay. Wait, all right, time out on that point. All I will say is the original Star Wars. George Lucas made the same comment you did, Pam. The original Star Wars was actually nominated for Best Picture. It won Best Editing, not just special effects. So the standard for that movie was it was one of the best movies of the year. It made money, but it also was considered a great film. Because it started off as a great film, it should not be lowered to just
I think that's
bubblegum.
harsh to say it's lowered because
Well,
of
it
the
is. It is.
different directions that it's taking. I mean, in that case, don't have Clone Wars, don't have Rebels, don't have any of the other products. Don't have any of it because it's all gonna in some way like encroach on the original.
It doesn't have to.
Right.
It really doesn't have to.
And here's the thing: it's like there's you have a fine bottle of wine, and it's wonderful. And oh my God, it's the best wine on the face of the earth. It's been sitting in a cask in Italy for 2,500 years or something. It's the best stuff. Okay, now you can open it up and you drink that cup of wine. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. But you know what? I want to have more of this wine. So I'm going to start watering shit down. And next thing you know, you got grape juices with a hint of that flavor. And
or maybe it's here is the vines that it came from. And now here's a bottle of new wine from those same old vines. And it's different, but it tastes good. And you're still going to pay for it. But here's the original. Of course, nothing touches the original. But the new wine is something new and it's good. It's not the same, but it's still good and it's still people like it.
Andor proved you could be good, stand on your own, and not take away from canon. They can do it if they want to try, if they're willing to put in the effort. But enough.
We'll see. It's a debate for the ages. So, all right, we really got to get out of here. We talk about this a lot. But next week, come back for more, what we do. PJ Alive. Take care.